All right, Ms. Love, are you able to find any any other emails between you and Mr. Wright? And then are there any between you and the attorneys for the other defendants who pled guilty that you would like reviewed in camera or want to just share?
As it relates to Mr. Wright, I did send him that request. He said that he sent it last night at 10:30.
All right.
And I said I didn't see it, so he said this morning that he was resending it. I'm signing on to see if it has come through.
Okay. Did any defense counsel get an email last night from Mr. Wright?
No, Judge, I don't recall even seeing an email from Ms. Love going to Mr. Wright.
It was a text. I sent it to him from my phone, and I copied other people on it to make sure that it was confirmed that I sent it. But what I asked him to do was...
Oh, God. I forgot that the court reporter was here. That is my fault. She told me that. Okay, let's start over. Ms. Love, I had asked if you had emails that you had found any more from Mr. Wright, and you were, and as well as whether there were any from the other attorneys for defendants who have already pled that you want to either share or have reviewed in camera.
I have not yet located other, and to be fully candid, I only inquired as to Mr. Wright.
Okay.
I thought that I would be able to look at the others after we finished with Mr. Wright. I wanted to make sure I had all of those, but my email to him asked him to forward any correspondence between the two of us regarding this case. Anything related to prior iterations need to be turned over or reviewed in camera by the court. I've provided what I need to ensure that the emails that I have make up the entirety of our correspondence via email or text. Would you please provide those to me tonight? He said he did. I'm checking now.
Okay, and it looks like you were just reading that off of your phone. Is that a text that you sent to Mr. Wright? So you were just reading that verbatim?
It was,
okay.
And I just got his personal text. Apparently, I had been trying to reach him via some service that goes to his voicemail. So my investigator was the one that was always able to contact him.
Okay.
So I'm signing on now.
Okay. And so he had said that he sent something out to everybody last night, but nobody seems to have received it. Just me. Just to you.
He said his words were sent. That's what he said.
Okay.
Sent. But
so I'm going to wait to see if there's any response, but because my understanding was that the court's instructions were that either Ms. Love or one of us was to email and copy everyone on that email so we could all be apprised of the conversations that's going on back and forth. That hasn't happened.
That's correct.
Judge, that Mr. Adams is correct. I do apologize for the informality. I am not 100%, and I was just trying to make sure that I got what the court requested. So I'll delegate to another person on another occasion to do that. But I had my phone in my hand, and I was there, and I wanted to make sure that it got sent. And I'm looking at a Gmail thread that I'm going to try and send to everybody. It looks like this is something that Mr. Wright sent that I can't open in terms of the attachments. I'm just going to forward it.
Okay. And then maybe you could write an email to Mr. Wright and copy everybody and ask the same thing and ask him to respond to everybody.
Yes, I sure will.
Thank you.
Which I think is
what I asked be done yesterday. It is.
Yes. Otherwise, I could have sent the email. As
correct. Yes, I assumed it would be done the way that I instructed.
Let me, while I'm thinking about it, Judge, let me say this also. There was reference made to whether or not Mr. Wright or anyone else responded with anything that would be right for an in-camera inspection. So it just occurs to me that on last week is when Mr. Wright was identified by the state as a Your Honor,
Yes.
let me inquire of the court, because I want to be really careful about this.
Okay.
Mr. Wright, of course, is on the stand. He's a witness. He's been sworn. He's testifying. And my general thinking would be, well, we're not really allowed to talk to him at this point.
I would think that's accurate.
Right. My thinking, though, is as we're sitting here talking about it in regards to the email exchanges, and I'm not casting aspersions on anyone. We've received what the state said that they have in their possession, although they initially said that most of the correspondence was by phone. And I don't know whether or not there are additional email correspondences that may be in Mr. Wright's possession, and maybe not in the states. And
All
I
right.
wonder if the court.
Let me suggest that if you want to send an email to Mr. Wright, copying the state and saying, if you want to identify him, we've got, the email of whatever date, whatever time. If there are any others, can you please forward them to, everybody copied, which would be all of the attorneys. You can certainly do that.
And then I'll copy the court on that email as well.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I request that the email simply request of Mr. Wright to forward everybody all the
You can do
correspondence
that
related
as
to.
well. Sure, I guess that would be cleaner.
Yes, thank you.
That's fine. If you want to be the one that sends out the email, that's fine too.
Thank you.
Okay.
No problem. You know what? One moment.
And you know what? Whoever sends it out, you can say, we all discussed it in court with the judge and the judge is fine with it.
Sure. We don't have any problem with the state
Okay.
sending that out. He's their witness technically at this
All
point.
right. So Ms. Love, if you wouldn't mind doing that this evening. Okay, great.
She's happy to provide him with, even with this copy here, that
Yeah, if you want to do that, if that would make it easier, or if you just want to say, hey, can you send everything you've got? However you want to handle it.
I will do both.
Okay. All right. So, the additional ones that we all just got handed, it doesn't look like there's much substantively that's new from what Ms. Love already had provided electronically.